far as I could remember, I1 to I27. That's the rule, and you have to follow before you integrate, right? And then the differential also, there's a rule from D1 to D25. Those are differentials, and you have also to follow that rule, and you have to differentiate. So, but I'm not really that sure. Nakakaloka. Okay, guys, welcome back to my science world. Okay, okay mga palangga, I am again your YouTube content creator and your social media influencers in terms of science and OSH, and then your small YouTuber only. Oh, di ba? I highly specified small YouTuber. Okay? Right? So let's go over to reality. Okay? Kailangan mong sabihin ko, I'm a big YouTuber. Charot. Charot. Okay? Okay, the question goes like this. What is the weight of air? Nasag ni? So what is the weight? Okay. What is the weight of air? Oh my gosh. Inside a spherical balloon. Wow. A spherical balloon. So why the balloon shape is being described? There are a lot of type of balloons, right? There are oblong, but most of them are circles, right? So spherical balloon of radius. Balloon. Oh my gosh. By the way, where does this balloon go through after? I think they will be disappeared after all, and they will be trying to explode, right? After they will go to the to the sky like that. I think I'm not really that sure. Okay. I need to research more. Where does this balloon will go after? Okay. Anybody? Okay. Maybe it will be broken and explode later on because the pressure will be lost, something like it. Because of higher velocity somewhere along the way, ganon, in the sky or whatever. Okay. Nakakaloka. Of radius of 2 meters. Okay, ganon. Okay. The density of air. Okay, guys, there is one also problem in, I found that in the YouTube, okay? They put wrong density, okay? But we will never try to object as long as it is a problem, because the purpose only is to understand how it is being analyzed, okay? Even though you will use different kind of values, as long as you know how to compute, for the purpose only to be like that. But if you try to be realistic, that would be not applicable. But ano lang kasi siya problem solving. The purpose of problem solving is to understand. Okay? Not really to prove in actual. So that in actual, you know how to compute. So that's the purpose of problem solving. Though there is certain errors in the standard, but it's okay. We will just leave it that way, okay? Like this, air is 1.20. The density of air is 1.29 kilogram per cubic meter. I think this is wrong because the water has already 1,000 kilogram cubic per meter. If you try to take the ratio from 1,000 to 1.10, it's very far, right? I think the air also is 1,290 kilogram per cubic meter. If you try to be realistic in the unit, but for the purpose of solving no problem, okay? So what I'm trying to emphasize, the standard density of air at 25 degrees Celsius is 1,290 kilogram per cubic meter, and the water is 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter, because the air is heavier than the water. Right? Get the point? Do we have to prove that one? Which is heavier, something like that? We need to prove that one or not? Okay, so if you have to prove this one, then we will use the equation of PV, the pole Benot, B-E-N-O-T, Emil Clapeyron. Okay, Paul Binot Emile Clapeyron discovered the ideal gas equation. The P, the pressure times the volume is equal to the number of moles times the universal gas constant times the capital T. And this is widely used in physical chemistry, thermodynamics, and even in all, not really, in unit operations. Because this is widely used. Meaning to say this is gas. Okay, meaning if you sing a song, this is like a My Way, Impossible Dream that all singers usually song. You will hear most of the time in the video key. So things like that. If you try to make this in a food, this is a chicken. You know? Chicken is always the menu. There's no variation. So things like that. So, balik gas-gas, bunog siya nga equation. Kaning TV and RT. Overly used. Okay? Something. Through this, we can prove the density of the air, something like chupa-chuchu. Okay. Now, if you try to resolve, I'm only explaining this as a part of, side explanation. Okay, we have 29 gram per grammole or grammole of the molecular weight of air. Okay, 29. Okay, through this 29 grams per mole, we can compute the density of air. Okay, because we need to substitute that in the PV and RT by using the standards all, the pressure. So pressure, the standard is 1 atmosphere. Volume, the standard is gonna be 22.414 liter. The gas can occupy at 1 mole of an ideal gas according to the law of, what is called this one? Avogadro law. He says that law, he discovered that one. That in every 1 mole of an ideal gas at 1 atmosphere and 298 Kelvin, the gas will occupy 22.414 liter. And this volume you need to substitute in the V. And now, the number of mole, of course, you assume 1 pound, 1 mole, right? Universal gas constant. So katong naikuan, 0.08205 liter atmosphere mole Kelvin. Right? Because you are dealing with the volumetric liter, you should be consistent also with your universal gas constant. And then you have the capital T, of course, Kelvin. Okay? So in this equation, you can compute for the density of the air by having the knowledge of the molecular weight and molar mass of the air, which is 29 gram per mole. So meaning to say, you need to inject in your brain cells. If you are studying chemical engineering right now, ipasok sa imong brain cells na ang molecular weight sa air is 29. Okay? The moment you step in your first day of your chemistry, because this will always coming out in the sample problem. So, unhan da yun mo ang mga standards sa water, sa ethanol, yung mga common substances. Hindi ka magpaabot sa maestra nga mo feed mo, anak, because that is very basic. Okay? Because most of your stock knowledge and acquired knowledge will help you to pass in the board examination. It's not really how good you are in the complex problem. It's not like that. In my self-confession, it's my stock knowledge and acquired knowledge that made me pass in the board examination. It's not how good I am to solve the problem. It's not the way how I solve the very complicated problem. It's not that way. Okay? The basic knowledge, stock knowledge, and the acquired knowledge. From the very easy to the average and a little bit difficult, something like that. Okay? So, ano na yun? Sa mga mga common, air, water, ganon, carbon dioxide, ethyl alcohol, ethanol, refrigerant, ganon, steam, ice, like that. So, these are the common, right? So at least you have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or nitrogen. At least you have 10 common, okay, substances. You will memorize the physical and chemical properties for this, then bingo. You can easily solve related to physical chemistry, thermodynamics, unit operations. Dili na ka magtanaw-tanaw pakli sa imong handbook. Okay, reflected naman sa imong brain cells, yung physical and chemical principles. Okay? Of course, apil na ito mga heat capacity, specific capacity, specific gravity, density, like that, temperature, pressure, blah, 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 all types of extrinsic and intrinsic properties. Okay? Ganon. Diba? So, that's why we will apply that here. So, the density of air is 1.39 kilogram per cubic meter. Ato lang siya i-assume correct. Okay? So, ignore, okay? Ignore the mass of the balloon. Wow. Why it ignore? Because the mass of the balloon is very light also. You know, if you measure the weight of the balloon, it's very, very less. So the problem says you will ignore that one. Okay? You get the point? Ay, yung pugsa. Okay? Ganon. So what is the weight of the air? So weight of the air, ganon. So mag-drawing sa balloon. Balloon. Spherical balloon. Charot. Ganon. Okay. The weight of air instead. What is the weight of air? So, ato di kita WA. So, question mark. Spherical balloon. We have the spherical meaning the volume of a sphere, the area of a sphere. So what else? The perimeter of a sphere. So at least you will be familiar with the formula of the volume, formula of the area, and the perimeter in terms of a shape spherical. So it's understood, you know this already in your geometry. The different types of geometrical shapes with its corresponding area formula, volume formula, perimeter. So you need to familiarize that. Also, mga rhombus, parallelogram, di ba? Cylindrical, blah blah blah, so and so. Ganon. Okay? Rectangular, square, so many. Okay? Like that. So, i-master niyo mo na yun. Okay? Before ka mo touch on physics. Okay. Now, since this is weight, so we need to have the FBD na talaga siya. FBD, free body diagram, ha? Okay, this is the balloon. So if you try to release the balloon, it will not go down. Obviously. Okay? It will go up. Okay? So there is a buoyant force. Okay? Buoyant force by air on the balloon. This is the air that make this go to the sky. It will push that to the sky like that. Okay? Now we have also the weight for this balloon, but he said the balloon mass is being neglected. Okay? But we don't neglect the weight. Okay? Because the weight, it means the content inside. Okay? The content inside of this balloon. Okay? What it means by the mass is the material, the thin material of the balloon. That is the mass that we will try to ignore. But the weight, we don't ignore that one because it contains the air inside. That's why it become a circle because of air, right? Atong tayo ko. Diba, mulingin siya. Ang weight ana nga air nasa sud. But we need to ignore only the mass of the balloon. Ang iyang weight, aning plastic. Okay? Because that is very light. That's it. Ignore the mass of the balloon, but we need to consider the weight of the air inside the balloon. Okay? Nakakaloka, diba? Okay. So we have the W, ganon. Okay. Now FBD, these are all vertical, right? Summation of force net is equals to the buoyant force upward, positive. Okay, minus W of the air going downward, right? Right. That's the point. Now, buoyant force is equals to, okay, the density of the air. Because we are referring here to the air, okay? And then the volume of the air inside the balloon, right? Like that. And then the acceleration due to gravity, G, because this balloon will go downward, will go upward, will go downward, will go upward like that. You can never see a balloon that will go to the left, will go to the right when you release that. Common sense, right? Okay. Something like that. So, FB, this is not Facebook, but this is buoyant force. Okay. FB is equals to the density of air in dimensions of problem, which is 1.29 kilogram per cubic meter. And then, So the volume of air. Okay. Sir, where can we find the volume of the air? The volume of the air will just be equal directly to the volume of the balloon. Because you said ignore the mass of the balloon. You get the point? Because there's an assumption. Okay? So it will be now in equilibrium. The volume of the balloon will be equal now to the volume of your air. So you need me to explain this by equation also? Okay, let's do the equation. So density of air, ratio and proportion. Density of air is equals to the mass of air over the volume of air. Okay. Density of the balloon is equals to the mass of the balloon, right? Over the volume of the balloon. So you say mass of the balloon is constant, you treat the balloon mass is constant. So therefore, it will take effect on your equation. Right? So it will now become d balloon, gano'n. Density of the balloon is volume of the balloon. Okay? And then we have also density of the air and the volume of the air. Since we need this to be equal, then the volume of the balloon is equal to the volume of the air. Okay? Get the point? Ganon. Because it is in equilibrium, meaning the density of the balloon will be also the density of the air at that moment when they are equilibrium. Okay? You get the point, mga palangga, because it's not mentioned. Okay? Like that. So, the gravity is, 9.81 mga palangga kung hitad. Okay. So, the volume of air, that is the volume of the sphere also. So, volume of a sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed, right? So, you have the radius, it's mentioned, or radius of 2 meters. So, it's going to be 4/3 times pi times 2 meter raised to the power 3. So we have now the volume of the sphere, which is also your volume of the air. Okay, substitute that there. Where's yung calculator mga palangga kamitan? Okay, anak siya. Magbantay dito sa mga assumptions ha. Okay, we need to take an examination. So 2 exponential to the 3 is equal to tarara. Okay, 2 is equal to 8. Take note guys, mag-PEMDAS na dayari guys ha. PEMDAS rule in algebra. Do you still remember that one? Okay, PEMDAS rule in algebra. First is parentheses. Okay, we involve parentheses here, see? So perform that first. Okay, 2 raised to the power 3, then get the answer first, 8. Okay, like that. Because if you proceed that directly to the left, you don't follow the parentheses first, then you will be wrong. So PEMDAS, first parenthesis, second exponent, because it's raised to the power 3, there's an exponent, right? Third will be multiplication. And after that, we will multiply, right? Okay, we multiply. This 4/3 is counting, because it's in the first part. Maybe you will divide that directly. Don't divide that first, because division is not the third step in the PEMDAS rule in algebra. Remember, PEMDAS. So the step number 3 is to multiply. Okay? So have the value of 8, the pi, and the 4/3. Okay? You get the point? Ganon. So, multiply. Okay. Multiply the 8 and the pi, right? Okay. 8 times. Okay. It's ganon to that. 8 times. Talaga na ship-ship. Uy, nakakaloka. 8 times. I-ship-ship pag yung 8. Sus, nakakaloka. So, 25.13. And then, this is the time you will multiply that to 4/3. Okay, then you divide now the 4/3. 4 divided by 3. Okay, ganon. Anak siya. Okay? So, times 25.13. So, we have 33.50 is our cubic meter of balloon. So 33.50. Substitute here the volume of air. So we have the buoyant force. Buoyant force will be 1.29 times 33.50 times 10.81. Okay, ganon. So, anak siyang hikabo. Okay. So, Okay, so ating i-times 1.29 times 33.50 times 9.81. So this is 423 Newton. Okay, this is your buoyant force. Take note, this is still the buoyant force, but you're asked the weight of air inside the spherical balloon. Okay? So since you net F net is equal to 0, you get the point. Then FB will just be equal to your weight of your air. So this is also your weight of your air, 423 Newton. Okay? Ganon. If you really try to prove also, weight of air, ganon, is equals to mass of air, okay, namataan din, acceleration due to gravity. Okay, o sa may mass of air ni mo. So, density na yun. Oh. Density of air is equals to mass of air over volume of air. Oh. So, ang sa may mass of air, density of air, di ba, 1.29. Volume of, 33.50. 9.81 ang acceleration times siya, o equal ba siya? If it is equal, then perfect. Our answer is correct. Okay? No doubt about it. Okay? Ganon. Yes, perfect. 423 really. Okay? You can solve in two versions, but the two versions answer will be equal. Okay? You can either do the FBD or you can either do the weight of air directly. If you are really brilliant or smart or having a higher IQ, you will go directly to the weight of the air so that you can compute for the weight of the air. But for me, I need to go to the details because I'm not really that, having a high IQ. So I need to go to the formal way or systematic way of solving the problem. Okay? But katong mga bright time, kalit siya kuan. So nga, dito ba? Okay? Direct. But for me, systematic way of solving the problem. Okay, this is the safest way for average students and average examiners. The systematic way of solving the problem. For the genius and higher IQ, they will deviate the systematic way of solving because they have a fast analysis. They will go directly here. Okay? So, as I told you, there are only few. Out of 10, maybe 2. The ratio in probability and statistics. So, we will not copy from them. We will not try to be like that, even though we are not like that. What I mean, we don't pretend to be like that, even though we are not like that. So, just accept the fact that we are just average or a little above average. Okay? Like man na siya nga, you will try to be impressed but not the reality. Okay, that's the reason why Lene Robredo lost, right? Because she tried to impress the Filipino people that she is intelligent, like that she did beautiful things in our country, like that, but did nothing, something that there is but only less. So you don't have to pretend, just other people to impress you. What you see is what you get. Okay? Because it will echo. It will radiate the way you act, the way you have statement, and the way you explain, the way you speak. So the people can really see you. It will really radiate something like that. Okay? We don't fake we don't fake ourselves just to impress other people. Okay? Ganon. So, thank you so much. Any questions over for this particular problem? Any questions that you can put any assignments you want me to help that I can help? Okay, science only ha? Disclaimer. Okay. I can only up to algebra, but I'm not good to higher na talaga siya itong mga differential equations, calculus, and advanced engineering math. Need pa ko mag-review o study. You want ipilit sa akong brain cells. Adto ako kutob sa analytical geometry, solid mensuration, arithmetic, algebra, probability and statistics, and geometry. Diyan ako kutob sa akong math. Okay? So, that's why you can see in my solution of the problem. I don't go to the derivation and integral because actually, you can solve also the problem solving by using a calculus. Okay? You can use calculus, you can use algebra, you can use anything, then you can have the same answer. Notice that also. take the subject differential calculus and solve that in an algebra approach, you will get the same answer. Okay, that's why that subject is not really that important in the actual, because you don't have to integrate in the real world. You don't have to differentiate in your actual work. It gives only an idea, because we engineers have the chance to become a design engineers in the future also. So maybe we will be assigned in a consulting firm, then we need to have knowledge derivation, because machines or equipment during the design stage, there's also a derivation there in the formula. For example, the working pressure, operating conditions. If you don't know how to derive, then nga. So that's the purpose, okay? Because we engineers sometimes also will be assigned in the designing staffs of one industries, especially if our job relates to consulting, whatever, or especially if you try to sell this equipment to different places. Of course, you will explain the features of this equipment. Then you will ask, what is the capacity for this? It could not be denied. There's calculus in the, in the operating design stage. Calculus will be there, not the simple mathematics. But most of the, engineers will not go to that kind of job. That's why it's not always relevant to learn more about calculus. As long as we have the basic class, yun lang yun. Okay? That's why I try to, I will never, sorry talaga sa inyo that's why, katong nag-request na mo vlog kong calculus, it doesn't mean din ako kaya, I still have to review. Okay? But algebra lang, okay. Okay? Mga analytic geometry, gano'n. But for calculus, hindi na ako siya kaya. Anyway, there's a lot of problems in our, not really can be solved by calculus, right? So there's a lot. Okay, we prefer to use, to solve problems using linear equation rather than the, with exponents, right? You can remember that term. For example, if you're dealing with heat transfer, so you can use the, the Fourier's equation, mga ganon. Fixed law of diffusion. If you can still remember, Fourier's law of conduction, like the heat transfer through conduction, and then we have also the fixed law of diffusion, the mass transfer, and then we also the Bernoulli theorem in the transport phenomena, the fluid flow. Okay, take note, there's still another equations aside from the Fourier's law of conduction. We have the Euler's equation, like involves too much differential equation, but our instructors prefer to use the Bernoulli, ganon, kasi dali na siya very easy to solve in a linear. Okay? You got the point? Ganon. Okay? Kasi kung ito buwanga mo, mag-use ka other equations and then maglisod ka mo pahamak kasi mong sarili. Ito na kasi sa'yo, di ba? Kung mo na guys. Okay? What I mean, if there are 3 equations in heat transfer will yield the same answer, so we will go to the most simplified one so that we can easily understand. Right? Nakakaloka. Okay. For the purpose of learning ulit, then you can also try. Okay? Maybe your instructor also will say, calculate this in terms of Euler equation. You have to first to use the Euler equation, not the Bernoulli theorem. Though it will yield the same answer because it's clearly instructed there that you need to use this kind of equation. Okay? But if there's no instruction like that, then you can use any equation as long as you can get the same answer. Get the point? Ganon. Diba? Ganun kayo siya mga equation guys sa unit processes of sa unit preparation na makabuang siya. Okay? Get the point? Namin mo makabuang mo dito. Okay? Muna siya nitabo. Any question so far? Okay, nothing, right? Muna siya nitabo. So nasolve din nato ang question number 43. Now question number 44. A block of wood. Ang manatani? Yesterday, right? We go directly to question number 45. The weight of an object in air is 100 newtons. The object is placed in a liquid. Nakakaloka. So this is more complex. Not really super. Okay? Because there are 2 media. Media meaning the matter. What are the 3 types of matter? Solid, liquid, gas. Phases of matter. The 3 phases of matter, solid, liquid, and gas. This is called also media. M-E-D-I-A. Then, if it is only a solid, then it is a medium. If it is a liquid, that is medium. So this is the term used in science always, okay? But in English, there's another meaning for that, okay? Media is the one who deliver the news, like that, okay? Medium of instruction, okay? The medium of instruction is English. Ganon. So, ang medium, lahi siya meaning dito. But dire, sa phases of matter siya, solid, liquid, and gas, okay? So, increase in volume of liquid is 1.5 cubic meter. If specific weight of the liquid, is 10 Newton cubic meter, what is the weight of the object in liquid? Nakakaloka. So, I think this is only difficult to look and to read, but if I try to solve, maybe it's easy. Right? There are things like that also. But there are easy to look but difficult to solve. And there's difficult to look, meaning difficult also to solve. So sometimes you cannot understand. It is your analysis that matters most. Analysis. Okay? Dito po, anak siya guys. Uy, huwag mo ka-encounter any nga one. Specific weight, nahimong Newton cubic meter. Ano ni? We need to derive. Nakakaloka. At kung i-delay pang kuan, ang kayo, 10 Newton cubic meter, wala yung ka-encounter ani, charot! Ato sa i-derive, guys. Okay, di ba? Specific weight, anak man to. Specific weight. Okay, tayo pa sa guys ha, specific weight. Atong ito kit. This is the first time on the spot in my entire life that I encountered Newton dot cubic meter. And what's this all about? This is on the spot. That's now I know. Okay? To specific weight. Okay? Nashock lang ko. Magulan akong ituki ganina. Okay. Dapat pala ituki daano. Okay, so specific weight. Okay, anak siya. Di ba natin specific volume? Okay. Actually guys, wala kayo makasugat ng specific weight na term. That's why I need to correlate. Okay? The other specific chuba-chucho. Okay? We have the specific volume, right? And then we have the specific heat capacity. Okay? We have also the specific gravity. Okay? So, write all the science terms that involve specific. So, we have also specific enthalpy. Okay? And specific enthalpy, specific entropy, gano'n, di ba? And specific internal energy, gano'n. Diba? Okay, let's go first for specific volume. Specific volume is, as far as I can remember in the topic of, thermodynamics, ito magamit ang steam table. Right? Steam, saturated steam, supersaturated steam, unsaturated steam, if you can remember that one, right? So, all are expressed in specific chuba-chucho. Okay, as what I remember now on the spot, there's if you speak about specific volume, it's gonna be, there's a kilogram in the denominator and there's a volume at the top. So I mean, cubic meter per kilogram because, okay, wait ha, yeah, because the reverse for the specific volume is the density in the Fury. Because it come out, yeah, I remember this come out in the board examination said, blank is the reverse of density. Blank is the reciprocal of density. The question is very easy. The reciprocal of density is A, B, C, D. Then I answered specific volume. Because I read that so many times in the library like that. I doubt it's correct, right? So definitely it's correct. It's a specific volume. So the reverse or the reciprocal of the specific volume is a density, and also the reciprocal and the reverse of density is a specific volume. Ginawa ko siyang kilogram per cubic meter. What I'm trying to emphasize, if you talk about specific chuba-chucho, there's a gram in the denominator. Okay, so let's go now to the specific heat capacity. So specific heat capacity, so this is heat, so expressed most of the times in calorie. Yeah? Calorie, alright, so mass in the denominator, so 9 gram. And then there's a Celsius because this is specific heat. It is driven by temperature changes. So calorie per gram degree Celsius. Wala kita mag-specific capacity because there's a mass in the denominator. Because if you try to remove the specific, that is only heat capacity, and you don't have to put grams in the denominator. That is only calorie per degree Celsius is the heat capacity. Now, if you speak specific heat capacity, then you have to put grams in the denominator. So it will become calorie per gram degree Celsius. Okay, punta na natin specific. Now, can you imagine? So, but why in the specific gravity there's no unit? I cannot explain because I'm not a scientist. That's only a theory. Specific gravity is unitless. Okay, there's no measurement unit. So the specific gravity of a substance is equal to the density of a substance over the density of water. Okay, the reference is always the density of water at standard temperature, which is 25 degrees Celsius. Now, if you have a specific gravity of water at 25 degrees Celsius, which is normally 1, I think so. So, your density of a substance, you can get automatically without referring to the different tables in the chemical engineer's handbook, physics handbook, chemistry handbook. Di ba naman na siya sa mga table? Okay? So, ano siya? Except na siya sa specific gravity, wag mo follow ang specific gravity. Sorry. Okay, now, specific enthalpy. Specific enthalpy is calorie per gram. Okay, specific entropy. Nagya po siya gram sa ubos. So, joules, Kelvin, gram. Internal energy. Calorie, the same. Calorie per gram. Ganon. Kaya entropy, joules per Kelvin na entropy. Joules per Kelvin. Okay? Ganon. So, ganon siya. So, kung yung specific entropy, it will become joules, gram, Kelvin. Okay? You get the point, anak siya. Okay? So, muna siya. So, when you speak of specific weight, unsa naman siya? Nakaloka. So, it's gonna be a Newton per kilogram. Right? Because the unit of weight is Newton. Because buoyant force is in terms of vertical motion. Your force will be equal to the weight directly. Your unit of weight will be equal to the unit of your force if we deal about gravitational force directed downward. So that's why the weight and the force have the same unit, Newton. Okay? Now, if you try to force pound, it will be okay also pound per kilogram. But this is redundancies because pound is also in terms of mass and kilogram is in terms of mass also. So this is not possible. It's always Newton per kilogram ang specific weight. Okay? We don't use gram because kilogram is the standard unit of mass in metric system and SI unit. The same with meter. Okay, not the gram, right? Am I correct? Yes, because in density we have kilogram per cubic meter, kilograms and siyang Paris. Okay. Oh, yeah. Kaloka. Because ang Newton, naman siya kilogram sa tumoy, kilogram meter per second. Your denominator will also be kilogram, right? Ganon. Okay, so muna yung specific weight, Newton per kilogram. Now, naman tayo 10 Newton cubic meter na. Ano naman siya naman yung specific weight. Then we need to convert this to become Newton per kilogram. So, okay. So, 10 Newton. Sabi natin, Newton is kilogram meter per second squared, right? Times cubic meter, ganon. So, 10 will be kilogram, ganon, meter to the 4, second to the squared, ganon. But it is not equal to Newton kilogram. So, amanin mo pag panghigay yung nasa panil. So, naman na siya. Okay? So, naman siya volume diary. Madali ka. Volume is equal to density over mass over volume. Okay. So, kung ano mo anong mass. So, mass is equal to the density times the volume. So, sama niya siya, air or water? Ano ba yun? Specific weight of the liquid. Ang liquid yung ginilali niya nili is, what is the weight of the object in liquid? Wala ba siya mo specify guys na, kung ano siya guys? Water. Okay. Okay. But in buoyancy ng good guys, usually ang liquid giminan niya, unless specified, what siya mentioned is always water, for example, lake, ocean, river, rain, creek, what else? ocean, something. Water gid tanan siya basta meaning of liquid. Kaya dili man siya fluid. Okay? Pero understood lang siya ba? May mga problem ni mo nga na i-understood din mo nga liquid water na siya. Okay? Unless i-specify dyan siya siya nga kuan, ethanol, refrigerant, ganon. Diba? Wa man siya i-mention. So, ang liquid really is automatically water. Most of the trick sa mga problem. If don't mention the type of liquid, assume that to be water. Okay? Again, if the term liquid there is not mentioned, assume that to be water. Okay? In the topic of buoyant force, alam na after siya mo float sa alcohol. So normally the boat will float in the water, the swimmer will float in the water, or any object will float and sink in the water. Alam naman sa ethanol, sa refrigerant, sa benzene. So it's impractical. That's why when we mean liquid in the problem in the buoyant force topic, that is water automatically without question, unless specified. Okay? That's the point. Ano siya? Ano naman ito, no? So, mass density times volume, ano din mo siya. Kaya ipahimo man mo, ibisihan na lang dito ko sa, because you want, your target is to make it a specific with nga unit Newton per kilogram na siya. So, nakay density times volume. Naman kay cubic meter dari ari. Volume man lang siya, di ba? Ganon. Papasa mo yung nasa ito. Ano din mo siya mga palangga. Charot. Okay? Ano din mo siya kay cubic meter man siya mga palangga. So, volume ni siya. So, ano ka? Density is equals to mass over volume. The volume is equals to mass over density. Ganon. So, ano ka? 10 Newton. Okay. Mass over density. Ganon. Pila may density sa kuan? Liquid. Diba? 1 lang siya. 1 kilogram per cubic meter. Diba? Then, ang mass is kilogram also. Diba? Mass also. Okay, the mass. Okay, kilogram ang mass, di ba? So, cancel ang mass, ang mahabilin, 10 Newton cubic. More siya guys, sakto yun siya. Ang 10 Newton meter is also a specific weight. Okay? Ana. So, yung 10 Newton cubic meter is equal also to 10 Newton per kilogram. Ganon. Kaloka, ganun ba? Based on my derivation. Okay? Kayo na bahala guys, kung yung improve na sakto ba ko. Basta mo na siya dili akong diyag-diyag. Okay? Module. Okay? Diba? Ano na siya. So, ano na siya no? Meter yun. Naman kayo nyo na ano ganun? Tadadat. Ganun. Okay? Tadadat. Ganun. Tadadat. Ganun. Diba? So, makansel yung tadadat. Ganun. So, ano yun siya? Oo, Newton. Mabili man siya kung sa kilogram. Newton per kilogram nag-give siya, guys. Hindi siya malalis. Okay, ano yun? Okay? Dito sa unit dito, di ba, guys, ano mo siya, if the specific weight of the liquid is 10 Newton cubic meter, nagtaka lang kung nahin nga unit sa specific weight. Okay, I have to prove why. Di ba? Ganon. Because why is the intelligent question of all the, 7 W's, 5 W's, 1 H, and one Y, right? The Y is the most question that needs explanation. Okay? So now, what, where, who, where is very easy, direct. But this how and why is more on you have to explain something, what happened, like that. So this how and why, it needs thinking. Okay? In any investigation or whatever, you do training, whatever, somebody will ask you why like that. Okay, then you have to think. How? Then you have to explain the sequential events or how it is being done. So that is how. Diba? So, mukuan ka mo, bat ka aning mga question na. Ang where, ano naman, where? Ano ka? Where? Sa tinaan. Direct na yun. What? Simply skip the date. But these two need to explain, discuss, blah, 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 so also. Okay? At that point, ana siya. Nakuha ko ba na-trigger sa unit in which I don't familiar this in my entire 5 years in chemical engineering in CIT University. This kind of unit. Okay? So, na-shock lang ko. Okay? Specific weight daw, Newton, cubic meter daw siya. Ganun. Okay. Di ba? Expected, masagot. Okay, anak siya. Sa kibaw lang kamo yag-yag. If you know how to tuki, yag-yag, derive, then bingo, makasabot ka. Okay, ganon. Mo yung i-kwan ba? Scrutinize. You do a lot of scrutinization and cross-examination of different conversion factors. Ganun. Uy. Diba? Tama na, uy. Kapoy na ko yaw-yaw, mga palangga. Mojud. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. You can like and comment and share this video. You can share to anybody else. Okay, and then bye-bye for this topic. We go to another topic tomorrow. Something like that. Okay? The same time inside my room. Live discussion and explanation of physics topics. This is again, I am a singer, eternal voice. God bless everybody. And then you can click also the notification bell for some newest updates. I have many updates, right? In my YT channel, then you can click also there. I put for educational purpose only. There, huh? Disclaimer, for educational purpose only and a guidance to students, examiners, and professionals. Something like that only. In my description, in my caption, something like that. Okay? So we don't have to make what do you call this one? Clashes of ideas. Just chat me directly in my messenger. Okay? You get the point? Chat me directly in my messenger so that we can, discuss professionally in which topic we are not agreeing, maybe something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, blah, blah, blah. Let's clarify things out. Okay? Thank you so much for watching my live streaming. Bye-bye. God bless everybody. Nakakaloka.